This tutorial is to make this centerpiece, which is part of the sunflower series. You will also find videos in how to make the bridal bouquet as well as the boutonniere. The materials that we'll be needing today for this centerpiece include this basket and a container to hold the wet foam in. Wet foam, of course. And we will also have some clippers and also some craft paper. You'll see what we're going to do with this later. And then as far as floral materials, we have some yellow daisies, Mexican marigolds, sunflowers, and then privet branches. So let's go ahead and get this floral foam hydrated. So we are going to take this craft paper and we're going to stuff the sides of this to prevent the tray from moving around. And you want to use something such as a maybe grocery bag or anything brown so it matches with the basket and is not as noticeable. It will be covered up with flowers, but just in case there's anything that might be exposed, you're not likely to see it. And there you go, it's secure. You can add more water after the centerpiece is done, but while I have easy access to this, I'm going to go ahead and fill up the tray with a little bit of more water. I filled up the tray about halfway because as you put the stems in, it might displace some of the water, so you don't want it to overflow. When you're starting a centerpiece arrangement, it is best to get the greenery in first and then build around the greenery because that'll help to cover up the mechanics underneath. I really love these privet branches because during the spring they have these pretty little white flowers on them, and we'll definitely be making use of them in this arrangement. So if you have any leaves that are unsightly, it looks like some insects bit into a couple of these, so I'm going to go ahead and snip those off. Feel free to break off any leaves at the bottom just so you can insert the branches in a little bit further. See how the leaves are covering up the foam already? That's what we're trying to achieve, and then that way when you stick the flowers in, it's just in a bed of greenery. I'd like for these handles to be exposed, so I'm keeping the greenery within the border of the handles. Okay, that looks good enough for now with the greenery, and we can always add more later. When you start to add the flowers, you want to have a look where the heavier flowers or the larger flowers are more towards the bottom versus the top. It just allows it to be more grounded. And so I'm going to go ahead and select the largest sunflower. And I believe this is it. You want to cut the stems so that they're long enough to go into the floral foam, but not so, it doesn't have to be exact, but you don't want to have it to be too short where as the top of the floral foam is drying up, as you have it on display, you don't want it to be struggling to get water. I'm going to go ahead and place the center flower, and I'm choosing the most upright sunflower. Sometimes you might hit some other stems, and so you have to reinsert it, but I always recut it just to make sure that it has a nice clean cut so it's getting full contact with the foam, and you don't want to stick it in the same hole either. Also pay attention to any curvatures within the stems because it can really help with your design. For instance, I would want to have something over here, and since it's facing this way, it helps me determine, how far I should put it in to the arrangement. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you're interested in buying any of the materials such as the basket, the foam, or the tray, then please look in the description below.